Hey everyone, Tech Dad here, and today we are discussing this 11th gen A16 iPad. A lot of people are shopping around right now for this guy because it is crazy affordable. So it actually starts at $349 regular price from Apple, but you can get it a lot cheaper right now. There are a lot of retailers that have it on sale, even for under 300 bucks. And it's an awesome iPad, and I've used this iPad in my job, so I have a project management job and I have a teaching job at night, and I mainly use this guy for teaching. It makes an excellent digital whiteboard. It's great for taking notes and writing on, and I've also used it for leisure as well. My wife has this iPad, and we've given this iPad to our kiddos this year for Christmas, so really it's a good fit for a lot of people. But why is it so affordable? I mean, did Apple cut a lot of corners when they made this iPad? And what are you missing out on if you go with this iPad instead of one of the higher end models like the iPad Air or the iPad Pro? And you might be asking yourself if you should bump up to one of those higher end models or just go with this base iPad. Well, the truth is Apple did cut a lot of features out of this iPad to get that affordable price tag that everybody loves. And that's what we need to talk about in this video. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the features that this base iPad just doesn't have that the higher end models do have. And so when we're done going through the list, you'll be able to determine if you should just go with this one or a higher end model. And to be honest, after I go through this list, you might not care about any of those features that are missing. We'll have to see. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so the first major difference is the hardware inside this iPad, and I want to talk specifically about its processing chip. So this is called the A16 iPad because it has the A16 chip in it. That's its processor, and that's actually a phone processor. So this iPad has a phone processor, and the higher end models actually have a Mac level, computer level processor, the M series. So the iPad Air has the M3 currently, and the iPad Pro has the M5. So huge power bump in the higher end models as far as processing goes. But the question is that going to matter to you? Well, for most users, no, that doesn't matter, because the phone chip from 3 years ago is still ridiculously powerful, and it does all the things that you're going to want to do on your iPad for the most part. So you're going to be able to watch shows just fine. If you've got kiddos that want a game, they can absolutely do that. This thing runs mobile games like Roblox, for example, runs it great. No issues there. You can even edit video on this iPad, although I'd probably stay away from long chunks of 4K video. But if you want to edit 1080p on this guy in Final Cut Pro for iPad or iMovie, it's going to do you just fine. And it's great for all the other tasks that people want to do with their iPads, like reading books or shopping on the web, all the things. So does it have a slower processor? Yes, it does, but you're not going to notice that unless you're doing some pretty intensive gaming on this guy or you're editing some high-end video. All right, let's talk about the next shortcoming, and I think this is probably the biggest one, and that is the display that they put into this iPad. So first of all, the iPad Pro has the OLED display, and it is absolutely gorgeous. And so if you go with the highest end iPad model, you are going to get a beautiful display with the brightest colors and the highest refresh rate, so it feels a lot more responsive. The iPad Air has an anti-reflective coating, and so does the iPad Pro. And the iPad Pro even offers nano texture to get even less glare and reflection. So I'd say the biggest hit that this iPad took was its display. So if I show it to you here, you can see all the reflection happening in this screen. When you turn it on, it's not as bad, but you still get some reflection in the screen. So just keep that in mind. All right, the next thing that this iPad is missing is Face ID. So if you're used to a normal new phone, you'll have Face ID, which means you can unlock the iPad just by looking at it. Well, not with this guy, you have Touch ID. And so the iPad Air and this base iPad have Touch ID, where you have to put your finger to the power button in order to unlock it. That's not a huge deal, but some people find that inconvenient. I'm not really bothered by that. It's okay, but I really do prefer Face ID. It is actually just a little bit more convenient. All right, so the next thing this iPad is missing is that it has no Apple Pencil Pro support, so it's not compatible with the newest Apple Pencil Pro. It is compatible with this guy, the Apple Pencil USB-C, and you get some similar features to the Pro, but you are missing some key things. For example, you can magnetize your pencil to the top of the iPad, but it does not sync the pencil with the iPad, and it does not charge the pencil. So with iPad Air and iPad Pro, you actually get charging to your pencil and automatic syncing, so it just connects to the iPad automatically. If you want to charge or sync your pencil with this iPad, you have to use a cable. So you literally have to plug the pencil into the iPad, it will sync, and that's the way you charge it as well. Apple Pencil USB-C also does not have a lot of the touch gestures that the Apple Pencil Pro offers, so you're going to be missing out on some extra functionality for taking notes. But honestly, this is about $40 cheaper than Apple Pencil Pro, and you may not care about all those touch gestures. And if you don't mind plugging it in every now and again to your iPad, not a big deal. All right, so the fifth thing that this iPad is missing is that there is no secondary display support. So a lot of people are starting to use their iPad as their computer, and they want to hook it into a bigger monitor. Well, with iPad Pro and iPad Air, you can do that, and you can have two displays going at once. This is awesome for students or professionals, so you can have something on the iPad screen and something different on the monitor. Well, this iPad doesn't do that. It only can mirror to a monitor. So you can connect it to a monitor, but it doesn't fill the whole display. But you don't get dual display support, so you can't have one thing on your iPad and another thing on that monitor. It doesn't support that. So if you're looking for some major productivity, this iPad is probably not the way to go. You're going to need to bump up to the Air or the Pro. And other than that, that's about it. So if you can live with all those features that are missing, maybe this is the right iPad for you. And honestly, most people don't care about any of that stuff, especially in their iPad. If you have a laptop computer or a desktop computer, you're not looking for a lot of that other stuff. People like my wife and my kids and my mom just want to take this iPad and watch a show or read a book or shop on Amazon or play Roblox. This thing does all of that really, really well. So for a price tag around $300, you can't beat that. So that's my rundown on this iPad. Let me know if you have further questions about it. You can leave a comment below. I'm happy to help you out. Thanks for watching. That's all I got for you. If you like this sort of content, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.